Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a swatch and review video of the new Becca Chrissy Teigen palette. This is actually my second time filming this video. I've been playing around a little bit with my camera settings and my lighting, and when I first filmed it, you just could not get a good representation of the palette itself, so I decided to refilm it. So first let's talk about the palette itself. It's absolutely beautiful. This is probably one of the most expensive looking and feeling palettes that I've ever seen. It has Becca and Chrissy on the front in a raised bronze shade. It's sort of beveled, and the front of the palette itself is kind of a rose quartz. It's really beautiful. And then the chrome side of the palette is a rose gold, so there's definitely a rose theme. The size of the actual palette is really nice. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's definitely easy to travel with, and it has a nice weight to it, a nice expensive weight to it, but it's not too heavy. It has a really good quality mirror, which is always the best thing. It's like one of those palettes that you would love to travel with because the mirror is perfect for doing your makeup. And of course it is a multi-product palette, so it's one of those things that you could take with you on the go and just be able to achieve gorgeous glowy skin. So the formula, of course, because Becca just knows their powders, they know their skin, the formula is amazing. It's beautiful. So these two larger shades are highlighters. This one right here is rose gold. They're definitely kind of similar, but rose gold is, I would say, a little bit more bronzy than the bottom one. The bottom one is called, what is the bottom one called? Beach Nectar. I was calling it Peach Nectar, I think. It sort of reminds me of a more saturated champagne pop. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It has a beautiful peach undertone and a gold overtone, kind of a gold pearl to it. In fact, all of these powders have more of a gold overtone or gold pearl, so it's going to be much warmer on the skin. The blush is called Hibiscus Blush, and the bronzer is called Malibu Soliel. And just like the highlighters, they both have a gold overtone or a slight gold pearl. They're not shimmery like the highlighters, but they are luminous. They do have a little bit of a pearl in them. So I'm wearing this entire palette on my face right now. When I first tried this palette, I was freshly tanned and it looked very different on my skin. Right now, I am as fair as it gets. So I still think that it looks beautiful, but I will let you know a couple little differences that I noticed. So I am wearing Beach Nectar all over my cheeks. I did go in with Hibiscus Blush on my cheeks very, very lightly because it is very pigmented, and I am extremely fair. You can see it looks a little bit saturated for my skin tone right now. So I went in with a very small amount and then went over that with Beach Nectar. So I treated it as a blush overlay rather than a highlight, but I did hit the top of the cheekbones. I'm also wearing Beach Nectar and Rose Gold on my eyes. I'm wearing Beach Nectar on the lower part of my lid. I don't know how much you can see that. On my lower lash line on the inner corner, and then I'm wearing rose gold on the lid. So the shimmer on my lid is rose gold. And then of course I used Malibu Soliel as a bronzer, but I also actually used it a little bit on my lid. You probably can't see it. So I kind of just wanted to tie this palette into the whole look. I'm gonna give you swatches in a second, but for very, very fair skin, I would say that the shades in here are a little bit dark. So if you are similar to my skin tone right now, I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. If you think that the palette is absolutely stunning and you want to try it, you can definitely make it work, but you're not going to be able to use either of these shades as a highlighter. They would have to be a blush or a bronzer overlay or shadows, but the blush is extremely pigmented, as with the bronzer, and you can use them, but you have to use a very, very light hand. Otherwise they can look a little bit more intense. So you can definitely get away with using this palette, but unfortunately for us extremely fair girls, the highlighters are just not gonna work as highlighters. All right, so I'm going to give you some up-close swatches of each of the products. So the first one I'm going to swatch is Rose Gold, which is a highlighter. The formula is so beautiful. It's really lightweight, but it has incredible payoff. So Rose Gold definitely has a peachy overtone, if that's what you want to say, but it definitely does look a little bit more bronzy to me than Beach Nectar. And it has that gold overtone and that gold pearl, but nothing about it is chunky or thick looking. It just leaves a stunning sheen on the skin. Now, I haven't actually used this on my face. I've used it on my eyes, but the swatch on my hand is so beautiful. This would look incredible on medium and deep skin. All right, so next up is Hibiscus Blush. And the powder itself just melts into the skin. So it doesn't feel powdery or chalky or heavy on top, which is exactly what you want your blush to do. How would I even describe this color? How do I describe this color? This is a beautiful salmon, almost pink shade. But like I said, it has a gold overtone. All of these shades have a gold overtone, so it's much warmer. So it kind of mimics a peach without being too orange. I'm not typically attracted to a pink blush like this, and if you aren't, I think this one is worth giving a shot. All right, I was a little aggressive with my swatches. All right, so next up is Beach Nectar. This is definitely the highlighter. It's a stunning, it's kind of like a Milani Luminoso. That's what the overall shade looks like. It's definitely a peach, but it has this gold overtone. So as you see it in different angles, it has this beautiful gold sheen to it. I personally think that this made an incredible blush overlay, and that's why I love the shade so much. When I did have a tan, I used this all over my cheeks. I hit my temples, my chin, and it just gave my skin a beautiful overall peachy glow. It's perfect for summer. I didn't leave a whole lot of room for the bronzer here. The bronzer formula is definitely more of a satin. So it goes on matte, but it just blends into the skin. So it just becomes one with the skin, much like the blush. It's a beautiful neutral bronze that you can amp up or tone down depending on your skin tone or how intense you want it to be. My personal opinion, it's a tiny bit too orange for very fair skin, especially if you're olive. But like I said, I did use it today, and I just used a tiny bit and it definitely works, but I had to use a very small amount. This palette is limited edition and I don't know how long it's going to be available, but it is available right now on Sephora.com for $46. I'm assuming you can get it on BeccaCosmetics.com for the same price, and let me check Ulta, because I don't actually know. And it is also available on Ulta.com. On Ulta.com you can get a special free gift with purchase, but don't get their samples because they suck. So personally for me, the price isn't even a hesitation. I think that the quality overall is just absolutely incredible. The palette itself is so beautiful. Even when I hit pan, if I hit pan and I just like the whole thing's empty, I just want to keep it forever because it's stunning. I think they did a really great job on this. It definitely just feels expensive, like they really put a lot into it. And just the formula of the products is unbelievable. Like I said, Becca just knows their powders. They know their skin. They know how to make something that's going to really work with a lot of different skin tones. I definitely think that if you are medium skin tone, that this is worth it. It's going to look incredible on you, especially if you have warm skin. If you're fair, you can definitely get away with it. If this is just something that's so gorgeous to you and you have to have it and you love these tones, I definitely think that it's worth it. But if you're very fair skinned and you don't love every shade that's in here, you don't have to get it, in other words, because it might not work for you. You definitely have to be careful if you're extremely fair. But like I said, the powders make incredible shadows as well. Even the bronzer was beautiful. I used it a little bit on my lid. But honestly, I just think that the whole palette is worth it just for Beach Nectar because I'm wearing it all over my cheeks and I just can't stop even looking at in the viewfinder as my highlight right now. And I think I say this every time I talk about a highlighting palette, but the great thing about palettes like that is if you have a slightly lighter highlight, like a Becca Moonstone or just anything that's going to be lighter, you can mix it with that to make it work for your skin. Or if you self-tan or just, you know, you're the transition from summer to winter, you can make it work. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have this palette already, please let me know in the comments what you think so that we can kind of share our reviews with each other and help hopefully other people figure out if it's going to be good for their skin or if it's worth getting. Because no matter how you look at it, $46 is still kind of a lot to be spending on like one makeup palette. You better need it, you know? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. You can follow me on Snapchat, Twitter, and Instagram. All of that stuff is linked down below. You're gonna wanna follow me on Instagram because I do live streams and we have like way too much fun talking about the most random stuff, makeup included. All right guys, again, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped and I will see you in the next one.